Hey everybody, it's Kevin from STLTechTalk.com, here today to talk to you about some of my likes and dislikes of the recently released HTC One. Thanks to my friends over at AT&T, they've graciously given me the opportunity to try out an HTC One for a couple weeks, and I've had it for about a week and a half now, and unfortunately I'm going to have to send this back within the next couple days. AT&T lets me use devices in exchange for my opinion, so that's no big deal. I really do appreciate the opportunity that they've given me, and it gives me a chance to try out some great hot new devices and share my thoughts and opinions with everybody that watches and reads. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the likes of the HTC One. HTC has kind of had a rough go here these last few years due to Samsung and their advertising and marketing machine that they just keep pushing the Galaxy series, whether it's the Galaxy S3, the Galaxy Note 2. Samsung's just got a lot of money behind their marketing department, so everybody, when people think Android, they think Samsung. And unfortunately, HTC is kind of catching the brunt of that as they have lost market share and have had some financial issues the last couple of years. Even though they've put out some really quality devices, they're just not going over well with customers. But thankfully, HTC has come out with the HTC One, and I think it's going to be a strong enough horse to pull HTC back up towards the top of the hill as they try to regain some market share back from Samsung and some of the other Android smartphone manufacturers. So again, some of the likes, the display is a 4.7-inch Super LCD 3 display with approximately 460 some odd pixels per inch, which basically means the higher the pixels per inch number, the less likely it is that you're going to see an individual pixel, and vice versa. The lower the amount, the more likely you are going to see individual pixels on the display. The camera on the back of the device, HTC has gone with what is called an ultra pixel camera. HTC has decided to get away from the megapixel race and not just focus on how many megapixels they can fit into one camera design, and has instead created what is called ultra pixel. So technically this is a 4 megapixel camera with an LED flash, and you would be very surprised, but the HTC One takes some pretty nice photos. Now, on the website, stltechtalk.com, you'll see some more pictures when I actually post my final review of the HTC One. I'm going to show some comparison pictures taken between the One and my Nexus 4 in the same setting, same time, everything. And you'll be able to tell a big difference in the quality of the photos. HTC realizes that the majority of photos taken on a smartphone are taken in low light situations. So this ultra pixel camera is designed to allow more light in. So when you are in a environment indoors, for example, and you want to take a picture, and you can just snap one, and you will be surprised to see that the photo will actually turn out well compared to whether it's iPhone or a Galaxy S3 or even the Nexus 4. The HTC One is definitely going to stand out when it comes to indoor photography with your smartphone. So if you like to take pictures indoors and in less ideal lighting conditions, the HTC One's definitely a device you'd want to take a look at. And another reason why I feel you would want to take a look at the HTC One is if you like audio and video. Now, HTC has once again paired up with Beats Audio to create what is called Boom Sound, and Boom Sound incorporates these dual front-facing stereo speakers. Each speaker has its own amplifier, which produces some extremely loud and clear audio. Whether it's notifications, ringtones, music, videos, etc., you're going to hear it. It's even on the lowest volume setting. If you're just sitting inside your house or just sitting there at work at your desk, chances are you are not going to miss the audio notification, regardless of what volume setting it's on. The audio, it's just loud. I don't really know how else to explain it other than, it's just extremely loud. The first couple days that I was using the HTC One, when I would be getting notifications and stuff, my wife would sit and look at me every time the thing would go off. Like, really, that thing is that loud? She just had a tough time believing that it was so loud. And I'd read other tech people talk about boom sound and how loud it was, and I thought, I'm gonna have to find out for myself eventually. And they were right. That's all I can say. They were definitely right. It's just extremely loud. It's an amazing experience to be able to crank up some music on your phone and just be able to hear it with no problems whatsoever. So HTC Boom Sound, definitely a big selling point for this. The HTC One comes with 32 gig of onboard storage. As we kind of take a look at the physical part of the device, you might be able to notice, it's just a solid aluminum construction there. The white lines you see going around left and right there, those are actually for the antenna. So for the Wi-Fi, the cellular antennas, that's what that is. But unfortunately, due to this, one of the trade-offs of this design is the lack of a removable back cover. So with having the back of the device can't be taken apart, you can't just take the cover off and swap out a fresh battery. You can't take your dead battery and pop in a freshly charged battery and just keep going for the day. So you definitely have to somewhat plan accordingly when it comes to this. Whether you carry a portable juice pack or get a case designed with a battery pack in it, you're gonna have to kind of plan for that. So a lot of people have had some complaints about that. I can kind of understand that to a point, but you just got to unfortunately know how to use your device and get a feel for the battery life, which I found the battery life to be, it's reasonable. It's a very powerful device, and once I take it off the charger, 4:35 in the morning, and get a regular day's use out of it, I have plenty of battery left on it from what I've found so far. So for my personal use, I don't have any issues with battery life. And one of the other aspects of the new HTC One is HTC Sense 5. And what HTC Sense 5 has incorporated is what's called Blinkfeed, which you can see here. And Blinkfeed is kind of just a news feed. Excuse me. And it incorporates, whether you're Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever it is, whatever services you're signed into, you can go ahead and hook into those so you can see those in just one constant feed. One other thing I do want to show you is that you can also hook up with different topics and services. You featured headlines. There's got the Associated Press, Huffington Post, Autoblog.com, MTV News, ESPN for sports, CNET, Engadget, Verge for technology, different services, different apps, Flickr for HTC Sense, LinkedIn for HTC Sense, Twitter, Facebook, Calendar, stuff like that. And then also you can do different categories. So a lot of choices there for you to help populate your news feed there, so you can kind of keep up with what's going on. I like it. I think it really works pretty well, and you don't really have a problem. If you don't like it, you don't want to look at it, you simply swipe to the one page to the right, and you're back to a typical Android interface. So, it's just there. You can use it if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. So the next thing that I do want to cover when it comes to like is the TV app. Within just a couple minutes of setting this up, I was able to connect the HTC One to my Samsung television and my Uverse DVR box. And from within this app, I can turn the both units on, the TV and the Uverse box. I can change the channel. I can adjust the volume. I can browse what's on my DVR. I can just exit, view the menu. I can scroll around. I can manually punch in what channel I want to go to find out certain things. I can, play, pause, stop, fast forward, rewind, record, whatever it is on my DVR with no problem. Like I said, it just took just a matter of a couple minutes, and it was up and going with no problem, and very simple. Really do like it. So kudos to HTC for making this so simple. One of the way that this is able to work is the power button, right, which you see right there on the top of the device, is actually an infrared receiver. So it has no problem, or infrared transmitter, sorry. So it can transmit the signal to your devices and can control your TV, your DVR, your home theater. Not really sure what the limitations are with it just yet, but it can control quite a bit. Just simply downloads the codes right into it as you're setting it up. Like I said, it just takes a matter of minutes. So it's it's very lightweight, due to the aluminum construction. I really do like that. But on to the dislikes. There's not very many, so there's just definitely a few that I think are kind of a big deal, and it could be a turnoff for some people. If you're using the device constantly, like you're taking a trip or you're just driving somewhere and you're running the Google Maps for 10-15 minutes, as long as that screen is on, the longer it is on, the warmer the device gets, almost to the point that it's kind of uncomfortable to hold in your hand. It's not like it's like hot, but it's extremely warm. So it's kind of uncomfortable, and it's something that I handed over to my wife after about 10-15 minutes of running Google Maps trying to find a place, and she's like, "Nah, it just felt uncomfortable to her." So she just thought it was too warm. So the home and back buttons, they're just soft buttons. They're not hard, physical buttons, just right there on the display. Sometimes I found that you've got to be touching it just right. If you come in at an angle, it might not recognize your touch as responsive as I would expect. It seems to have gotten better. Maybe I'm just getting more used to the buttons themselves, and I'm just hitting the right spot better. But it just seemed to be not as responsive initially as I was expecting. The camera, unfortunately, is flush with the back. As you can see, the back of the case has a nice rounded design, which feels comfortable in the hand, but unfortunately, if the device is laying on its back, it's actually laying right there on the lens cover. It's right there on the peak of the back of the device. So if it's laying flat on its back, it's a good chance it's going to get scratched. So you got to definitely watch where you're laying your device. You don't want to get your lens cover scratched, because then it's going to end up showing up in pictures and stuff like that. Some people with 32 gig of onboard storage, and also you can get a unit with 64 gig of onboard storage. To me, there's plenty of onboard storage when you consider all the different cloud storage options available. but also again the same problem with not having a removable back when it comes to not being able to swap out a fresh battery. There's no micro SD card slot, so no removable storage available for you. One last issue that I do want to touch on, and some games, like for example Need for Speed Most Wanted, created by Electronic Arts. It's a relatively new game, came out October, November of 2012, and plays fine on the Note 2, Samsung Galaxy S3, Nexus 4. Just does not run on HTC One for some reason. So some of these newer devices, Galaxy S4, HTC One, it's just the game's not running for whatever reason. Some people have been able to sideload it, and all they end up getting is just a black screen. I think they might be able to hear some audio, and then it'll just crash. So Electronic Arts, if you catch this, you guys need to get on that. The game's not really that old, 6-7 months, not really. So definitely need an update to get this running on these new high-powered devices. People buy these devices and these beautiful displays, and especially a device like the HTC One. It would be an unbelievable experience to be able to play Need for Speed Most Wanted on, with considering the boom sound and everything. So, hopefully they can get that patched up pretty soon. So, there you have it. Those are my likes and dislikes. Definitely going to hate to send this thing back in a couple days, but I really do appreciate AT&T for giving me a chance to try this device out for a couple weeks. I think if I was in the market for a new phone right now, the HTC One is definitely the one that I would get. Probably be a toss-up between this and the Galaxy Note 2. Then again, the Galaxy Note 3 is just going to be right around the corner, probably just a few months away. So definitely waiting to hear what Samsung's got up their sleeves about that. So again, HTC One, definitely recommend it for people that like to take photos. It takes good photos outdoors just as well as indoors. Again, check back the website when I do my full review, and you'll see some of those. If you're a media person, like music videos, again, man, the HTC One device, this is definitely a device for you. So again, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, click the thumbs up, leave comments down below. Let me know you like videos like this. If you like me to change things up, let me know. I am a pretty flexible person, so I just want to provide content that you feel is important and you feel is worthwhile to you. So again, this is Kevin from STLTechTalk.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. Look us up. Have links in the description. So again, thanks for watching.